Hi, this video is actually being made on the 29th of December 2025. So we are almost moving to 2026, and a lot of people were giving their predictions on the markets. So I thought, why not me too? But these predictions are for 2026, and this video will be released on the 1st of January 2027. So I hope you may know I may be right and I may be absolutely wrong. So what I think for AI and whatever the bubble people are calling out, I think the bubble will last in terms of it is big, yeah, it is dangerous, yeah, but there are a lot of players. One of the biggest players, OpenAI and Nvidia, they're going to survive. I mean, AI will be more or less consolidated by big tech. Nvidia will own a chunk of it, as they already do. Microsoft will already do it, even though they have like all access to ChatGPT. Copilot is not as good as GPT in any sense or way. For some reason, both are using GPT-5 as per my last usage, which was a week ago of Copilot. Then we move on to Google. Google will have a very big stick because Google owns Gemini. Google owns Anthropic in a way. Amazon owns Anthropic. AMD, I don't know what's going to happen to this company because it's very volatile to shocks and all of that. I think it's a good company. CEO is fantastic, but I don't know. I mean, I don't see a very bright future for AMD now because 10% of it's owned by Nvidia too, which is its biggest rival. So that's another one. I think no major shock has happened in 2026. What has happened is basically the consolidation, maybe a little drop of here and there. I don't think Trump will allow this bubble to burst, at least under his regime, because the US midterm elections may have happened, and no one wants to have a bad face and a bad market during election times. And no matter how hard you try, and you will do anything to keep the markets afloat, even at the cost of, stealing from future generations, which have happened all the time. What I see is that this AI race has been consolidated between two players, which is China and America. The rest of all, us from India, Europe, and we are just spectators, basically clapping and applauding. Europe's only AI model, which was, I guess, Mistral, it sucks as of 2025, and I think it's gonna keep sucking because I don't know. I just use it. It's horrible. It's there's not an English term for this, but it's better than GPT-2. I don't know. It just hallucinates way too much. It's way too bad. China will have a very big impact in the AI because they can make AI which is cheap, which is scalable, and which is open source. As per my last reading, DeepSeek is now the most used open source model, beating Llama from Meta, which is another big thing. Coming to Meta, I think Meta will have a very interesting year because number one, its AI models are being less used. Number two, they have spent a lot of money and they have paused on the AI research and signing $100 million contracts with AI researchers and all of that. So that would be interesting. I don't think the bubble is going to burst. I just don't think because it doesn't make sense to me politically for the bubble to burst. But economically, will the bubble burst? I don't think so because it's too big to fail. The US government will never let Nvidia fail because if bubble bursts, Nvidia fails. The bubble bursts, OpenAI fails. The $800 billion trillion gone into the drain. No one cares about that. Like, yeah, obviously people do care about that. So I don't think it's going to happen. What's going to happen will be, as I've said in the beginning of the video, consolidation of tech powers. Microsoft, Musk's, what's that, XAI, maybe Grok something, stupid chatbot, but it's pretty sharp, I guess, which is built on X users' data and a lot of other stuffs. It's trained on that. And then you have Nvidia, which is the hardware GPU. Then one more interesting is the private equity part. I have no goddamn idea what the private equity is going to do if this bubble bursts with all the data centers they own. Companies like Blackstone, BlackRock, these are vulnerable, but again, they are trillion-dollar companies. They are too big to fail again. Most of the players who are in the game are too big to fail. So I don't. So this is the reason why I don't think they are interested and they are worried because they know whatever happens, like they know that they are bigger than Lehman and all that. Not bailing Lehman out was a big mistake of the US government in '08, and they paid for that heavily. The world was in a very deep recession and crisis in '08, which pretty much lasted for '08, '09, and the first part of 2010. So that would be it. I don't think any bubble is bursting anytime soon. And if it does, then guess what's going to happen? The first thing's going to happen is going to private equity is going to go bust because they own tons of data centers, like I guess 130, maybe 200 billions of data centers. The data centers are basically warehouses with a lot of servers. And second thing that's going to happen, might happen, would be the hardware part of the business, which is Nvidia and AMD. So these chips depreciate a lot. If you know what depreciation means, depreciation basically means the fall in the value of an asset with the passage of time and with wear and tear. So these chips, because it's an electronic product, they depreciate at the rate of like 20-25% every year. So in 3 years, sometimes even 2 years, these chips are useless. These chips are as good as a block of stone because no one wants to use them, because their value is gone. It's like PCs and computers. The moment you buy them, you depreciate it by 30% year over year. It's just the way how it is. You can't help it. And Google and all these companies are cooking the books. They have increased the depreciation duration from 4 to 6 years just suddenly without giving any logic in their balance sheet, and they have made up billions of dollars in increased earnings because when depreciation is flattened over a lot of years for a longer period of time, the earnings, according to the gap, which is generally accepted accounting principles, go up. And when the earnings go up, the stock moves up, even though nothing has happened. They haven't made a single dollar extra. It's just an accounting practice. It's an accounting bogus hoax. So that's another thing. And for the people, I think more and more people are going to lose their job in 2026 due to AI thing. Not that AI is dumb or something. People are going to get sick and tired of using stupid AI chatbots. So basically, what we are using right now is AI chatbots, which you used to have. So AI chatbots are basically a bunch of options given. Now the options have been given a voice, and they say, "Oh, it's an AI agent talking." It's not an AI agent talking. It's a stupid fucking chatbot given a voice. That's all it is. And it has a bunch of reasons. It's not understanding what you're saying. But if you say I want to exchange and I purchase this thing and the color was wrong and so on and so forth, it's not understanding anything. It's just giving you the fixed answers which it expects you to pick from, and it just predicts your problem is going to be among the top 10 things that are already been listed in its code. So I think people are going to get sick and tired of that, and people are getting sick and tired of that. If you can see, another thing would be, yeah, I think that's all. That's all. I think it's going to be a good year for AI. Yeah. But I will be more interested in AI and something that comes up with quantum computing. And I'll be focusing on learning some bits of quantum computing and launching a lot of new AI projects and tutorials for my dear students. Thank you. We'll talk to you soon.